All right, now let me just check my tuning because, like I said, I've barely touched my fiddle today. Okay, we're good. Okay, so let's start with G major. We'll do a scale, we'll do it slow, we'll do a nice slow tuning scale, and then we'll speed it up a little bit. We'll speed it up a few times and see if it goes awry. And then we'll do the arpeggio too, and then we'll do some double stops in that key. Okay, so let's start with the scale. G major scale. Here we go. Ready? One person ready. I can wait. I'm a very patient person. Another thing that me and Keith went through today is all the intervals, because he was asking about harmony and what harmony is. And so we went through all the intervals with the different qualities of them and how to tune them, which was really good and kind of informative for me too. Anyway, let's do it. G major. Ready? Go. Alrighty, let's try the arpeggio. Ready, go. It's funny when I do vibrato, Tunable counts my warbles. Looks like I'm doing an average of 3 warbles when I do vibrato. You can see it on the black line. It gives you the 3 little distinct warbles. Anyway, okay, let's do that again. So hopefully you were in tune or you had to do a little bit of tuning, which is totally fine. Now let's do it again, see if we can get things right maybe on the first try, hopefully. Same speed. Ready, go. Arpeggio. one note really out. My low B on the arpeggio was really sharp. And I knew it just before I put it down. I knew it was going to be sharp, but I did anyway, and I don't know why. Anyway, how'd you guys do? Still, you falling down mostly in the right places? Mostly? Okay, let's speed it up a tiny bit. See if we still do. Little bit. 1, 2, 3, go. Arpeggio! Now, is that still feeling relatively in the right vicinity, ballparking in tune-ness? Yeah? Faster! Like that. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, that was pretty quick. How did it feel? Everybody still in tune? No flatness? Hopefully? Sometimes when the speed goes up, people go a little bit flat because they fail to bring in the finger pressure because of the speed. So a good way to battle that is to just increase the finger pressure across the board when the tempo goes up to anticipate that. Okay? Let's try her one more time, and then we're going to go through. I'm going to show you intervals in the key of G. They're lovely. Okay, one more time. Same speed. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, feeling G-ish, hopefully. Okay, now take a breather there while I show you the intervals that we have in the key of G that are really nice. The first one is the fifth. So the fifth, a fifth, interval that is a fifth, is two notes that are 5 notes apart in the key that you're talking about. So, and that's important because if it's the G scale, you got G, and then 5 notes from G is G, A, B, C, D. Okay? And so that's the fifth note. If you play the G and the D together, it'll be a perfect fifth. All right? Now, if you play D sharp with the G, it would not work. It would sound horrible. See that? So that's like, well, I kind of think it sounds cool, but for most people, it's not harmonious. And that's because in the key of G, D is supposed to be natural, not supposed to be sharp. So whenever you do these intervals, always remember that we're doing it in the key. So for the key of G, the fifth is G and D together. Let's try that. Just a simple G and D double stop together to listen to the sound of that fifth. is the first interval that we learn on the violin because the violin is tuned in fifths. So when you finally learn how to tune your violin, finally, and properly, it means that you have learned what that interval should sound like without a doubt. And for most fiddle players, it really is unmistakable. Let's try it again. A few more of those double stops, the G and the D together. For that perfect sound, so the perfect fifth. Now let's try the next one, which is the fourth. That's G1 and open D together. Nice double stop. When I play something in the key of D, that's usually my kind of last note, is to play the D and the G1 together. And that's a fourth. Now again, a fourth can only be perfect. It can't be major or minor. So here's a fourth when it's out of tune. Everybody hear that come in? Yeah, see that? So that's, and you can really hear a fourth. You don't need your tuner. You listen for that bang on kind of click in and you know you're good to go. So that's G1 and open D, and that's a fourth. Now the next one is the third. G2 and open D together. Let's do that together. Now the third is a very, very special interval because it really is what tells whether you're in a major key or in a minor key, because you can have a major third and a minor third. Now let me show you what that sounds like in G. So we got a major third, B and D together. Now I'm going to play a minor third, B flat and D together. Sad, happy, sad, or frightened, or whatever it is, but it's unsettled. See that? So that's the minor third, and you can have both. That's why it's a little harder to tune. Here's what it sounds like when it's in tune, the major third. So you can hear there's still a modulation to the sound there, even when it's in tune, and you just got to get to know that modulation. Okay, and that's the third. And like I said, it's the one that tells the tale, whether we're in a minor key or a major key. So like I always use jingle bells. But if I did minor thirds, now it's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay? Anyway, so that's the third, and it's a very particular one. So far we've done the fifth, the fourth, the third. Now here's the second. It's a crunchy one. C and D together. And like I said, even when it's in tune, it's going to be crunchy. And you would only really use that if you were then going to resolve. See that? Or and they call that a passing tone. So although it's unharmonious on its own, if you use it to play a harmonious double stop right before that, then it works. So the leading tone. So that's the second, and that's where the notes are 2 notes apart. 1, 2. That's the second. Okay. Okay. Now what haven't we done? Oh yeah, the next one is the sixth. Now the sixth is when you play, say, open D and A1 together. Very nice one. I use it all the time. And it can be minor or major. Now you might recognize that minor one. And it's good to practice them both because you do need to use them both depending on the piece that you're playing. So that's the sixth. Now here's the seventh. So let's see. We got G, and then C. Wait, hold on now. The seventh. The seventh is the F. So F and G together. That's a major seventh. Oh God, it's hard to listen to. But again, when you resolve it, it's great. So that's the major seventh. Okay? Did everybody understand what I'm talking about there? And anybody have any questions about any of the intervals?
Could you do the major seven and the what I guess the dominant seven again? Could you?
Yeah, the major and minor seven. Yeah. So we got this in the key of G. It's going to be F and G. So I had it a second ago. So that's the major seven. Okay, and here's the minor seven. The lowered seven. See, so that would be an F natural in the key of G, which is not the usual. Then you put it up to G and F sharp. That's the major seven, and it just wants to resolve. Okay? Yes.
Okay, so just to clarify, so a fifth has 3 notes in between the two in question. They're 5 apart. There's 3 between, right?
Yeah, there's no 0 in music.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say 5 notes apart, G to the D, for instance, G is note number 1, so it's not note number 0. See what I mean? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 notes in between the 2 that you're playing.
Okay, and then that pattern continues. So a fourth has 2 notes in between, a third has 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct. It's a good question because the whole no 0 thing can throw a lot of people, and you're wondering about that. Like, you say 5 notes apart, but it's like, what do you mean? So that's what it means. No 0 in music. Okay, good question. Any other questions about the intervals? I'll go over them again, just in case you do. Yes.
I was going to ask the question. So if you play the open G and D3, what interval is that?
You can tell me. I bet any money you can tell me what that is. What?
Well, an eighth?
Yes, an octave.
Oh, an octave. Okay.
Which is an eighth. It is an eighth. Yeah. Okay. And so that's G to G. Mm-hmm. That's a really good one to practice. Now, when I was a kid, I should have showed you that. My God, it's more. I would say the first one you learn is the fifth. The second one you learn is the octave, because when you put your third finger, say, on the D string, that's playing a G, just like your G string, except up an octave. So you really get to know that. And listen to this. Here it is at a tune. really hear that. You don't need any training at all. And here it is in tune. You hear that come together? Very unmistakable. Every third finger that you put down, except for on the G string, plays the note of the string below, except an octave up. And that's why you get to know that interval so well. So when you play E3, that's an A. Same as your A string, except up an octave. When you play A3, that's a D. Just like the D string, except up an octave. If you play D3, that's a G. See that? So I find that that's kind of the second interval that you really get to know is the octave because of that. Because and half the time, when you're starting off, you're having trouble keeping your bow on one string anyway. So you're playing that E3, and you're just hearing it all the time. See that? So you get really used to it. So that would be an octave, yes. Now let me go through them again in the key of G. So, and of course, the way I'm playing them now with the G string is only one way. There's combinations all over the fiddle, and I'll just show you since we're recording. So the ones I went over are the fifth. You have a question, Astrid?
I'm still struggling with what strings are you playing when you make your G to F and G to F sharp?
Yeah. Open G and D2.
Open G and D2. Okay. All right.
And depending on whether you have a high 2 on the D string, that's the F sharp, and the low 2 is the F natural.
Okay. All right. Because the sixth we were on the other, we were going up the scale kind of thing, and then we went back down. Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay now.
The seventh is the so the sixth I use D at the bottom. See that? If I use G at the bottom, it would be see that? So it kind of changes the key a little bit, but it's okay.
Right.
And then see what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking to my orchestra last night talking about this, and I was saying Thelonious Monk fans might not find that second unharmonious at all.
No. That's right.
Love that interval. I love it too. So it is kind of subjective, but those are the qualities of the intervals. Okay, and it always depends on which one you have at the bottom. So for instance, now let me just go through the ones I went over. So and you guys can play them. G and D together. The fifth. G1 and open D together. That's a fourth. Okay. G2 and open D together. And G2 is in the high position. That's the third. Okay. Now let's do the C, which is G3 and open D together. That's the second. Okay. Now let's do the next one we will do is that's the second. We'll do the sixth. So D1 and open G together. Sixth. It's got a lovely sound and it activates the E string on my fiddle. Very nice full sound there. That's the sixth. And then we got the seventh, and we'll do a major seventh. So we'll do, yes.
Yeah, can you just go over the sixth? I'm not hearing correctly what you're saying.
Open G and D1.
Okay, D1.
That's an E.
E and, okay, and G. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
No problem. I'll play it again. That is a lovely interval. That's the sixth. I use that a lot. And then we got, let's do a major second. You can really hear the crunch. So F sharp and G. So D2 in the high position and open G. Feel the pain. It feels great. And let's resolve it. Put the third finger down. Play that with the G string. Oh, thank God. Oh. And that's the octave. And that's enough for now. Get good at those few, and then I'll show you where they are all over the fiddle. So for instance, we did the third. But when we did the third, we did the B on the bottom, below the D. And so that's, in the key of G, that's kind of inverting it, right? We're not putting the G on the bottom there. So you can put the G on the bottom, and this is what it sounds like. So that's D3 and A1 together. Okay, tune that D3 first. And then put the 1 down. Okay, that's another third, but it's flipped over. And there's more and more and more and more. One other one I really like in the key of G is B and G up here. See that? So I got the B on the A string, A1, and E2. I use that one in the key of G all the time. And look what you can do. You can play, start on the G string, and you can pull it right across. And if you have a nice bow, you can do this. That's bouncing the bow, which my brother can do, but I'm getting there. I'm almost there. Anyway, so there you go. So any other questions about any of those intervals? There's more, but you can't do them all at once. It's good to do a few. Yes.
So you said there's other thirds. So there's G2 and open D. That was the first one we did.
Yeah.
D3 and A1.
Yeah.
And E2 and A1.
Yeah. Is that a third? No, it's not a third. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's a sixth. It's another sixth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But, well, it's also a third. And you see, it all depends on whether you're thinking about going down or up with them. You know what I mean? So B all the way up to G is 6 notes. But B, if I went down, I could get to G as well, just in 3 notes. See what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Watch, I'll show you. So B to G is 6 notes. But B to G going down is only 3. You see how that works?
Wow. Okay. It's a whole new language.
Stick with the third thing, okay? That's that's kind of the most common. I use it all the time. I would say the most commonly used double stops are octaves. Number 1, I would say octaves. Number 2 fifths, number 2 thirds. That's what I would say. Thirds are handy. Anyway, let's practice them one more time. Let's start with the open G, open D. Let's just do 4 bows. 1 down bow, 1 up bow, 1 down bow, 1 up bow, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, let's give that a try. Open G, open D. Ready? Go. Okay, now let's put the first finger on the G and open D with it. So A and D together. Okay, and that's the fourth. Now let's do B and D together. Okay, that's a third. And then we're going to do C and D together, second. Okay, and then we're going to do, let's do D, open D and A1. That's the sixth. And let's do the, what do you call it, the seventh? So let's play F sharp and G together. D2. Yeah, D2 and open G. And then when you can't stand it anymore, put the third finger down and play the octave. Oh my God, yes. It's like coming in out of the rain. All right, so those are double stops in the key of G. All very good to practice. When you're doing double stops, especially on the G string, make sure that you don't lean into it too much. The G string is very susceptible to choking, and when you look at your tuner, it can flatten you like a half a semitone just by pressing hard with your bow. So be very gentle. You can start off with no weight at all and add it as it gets stronger. More reliable. Okay? Now let's see. I think we should move to a different key because we have spent 38 minutes on the key of G. Not that I'm complaining. I think it's great. It's really good. But let's switch gears completely. Let's go to 3 sharp. So A. We'll do A major. This is a note that starts on a finger rather than on an open string. So you want to make sure that finger is in tune. Here's your low A. Okay, let's play the scale. I'm just going to mute you there, Heather, so you don't have to. Don't move your finger. It's okay, it's okay. I got you. Okay, let's do it. Nice and slow, A major scale. Ready, go. All right, arpeggio right away. Ready, go. Okay, A is a little tougher, a little reachier, and keeping the 1 down is a good idea throughout this scale. Okay, let's do it again. Same thing exactly. Ready, go. Arpeggio. Now, how are we doing with the key of A? Falling in there? That's good. Okay, and let's see about the speed. So let's pick up the speed a tiny bit. Like that. Okay, just plop them down. Hope for the best. 1, here's your A. 1, 2, 3, go. How was that? Still good? 1 more go. Same speed. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Oh, shoulder rest came off. All right, now double stops in the key of A. There's some go-tos that I always do. So just like when I was talking about finishing off a tune in the key of D with a G1 and an open D. In the key of A, I always finish off an A tune if I can, if I'm down on that side of the fiddle, with the G1 and D1. That's a 1-finger double stop. See that? G1 and D1 at the same time. And that's a 5th. 5 notes apart, just like the open strings, and so it's easy to get it in tune. It'll have that sound. Here it is out of tune. Here it is in tune. Okay, so that's the 5th in the key of A, and it's a very good one to have, not only because it's a nice double stop to doing a tune, but also see that? The one stays down for the whole thing. So very, very good practice to work on that. So that's the fifth. Let's do the third. What would the third be in the key of A? So that's going to be G3 stretch and D1 at the same time. C sharp and E. That's going to be a third. So G3 stretch and D1. Okay, C sharp and E. I love that one. A third. That's a third. And then let's see, there's the fourth in A. So is D1 and open A. That's one I use a lot when I'm playing an A. It's got a lovely sound to it. Okay, that's the fourth. Sixth in the key of A is going to be A. Oh, lovely. G1 and D2. It's the sixth in the key of A. That's A and G sharp. Same as up here. Or sorry, A and F sharp. Same as up here. A and F sharp together. The sixth, which is a really nice interval. And how about the octave? Is E3 open A? Great one to practice. Really, really good to practice that one. Is there any others? I don't think so. That's about it. So I'll recap. We got the fifth. We got the third. We got the fourth. We got the sixth, which is sorry. Oh yeah. Love it. G1 and D2. And then we got the octave. And then the seventh in the key of A. G sharp and open A together. But then, like I said, you can just resolve it. And that's the intervals in the key of A. There's some of them. Anyway, another one I love to do is the third. Actually, the really easy third to do in the key of A is A2 and open E together. Very good one. And then the opens to finish. Okay? Any questions or problems about any of those combinations?
Back to that seventh. What are the strings that you're playing again on the major seventh that resolves to what?
Yeah, it resolves to an octave. And
Okay.
so I was playing A and G sharp. So the low A and G sharp on the, or sorry, not G sharp, F sharp. Oh no, so hold on. You asked about the second or the?
Yeah, the seventh.
The seventh. So that's going to be G sharp and A.
So what strings are they on?
D3 stretch and open A.
Wow. Okay.
It's a cruncher.
Thanks.
And then you resolve it, of course. And you can resolve it to the octave or the unison. Now, that's what a lot of Cape Bretoners do. See that? That's a seventh, a major seventh to a unison there. Very popular in Cape Breton. Any other questions about any of those intervals?
Dan, what do you mean by resolve to the octave? Are you going from one to another one?
Yep, watch this. See that? So that's the 7 that does not resolve. It's like an argument where they don't get along. And then they finally agree. See that? It's a very common thing. They also call it a leading tone. That's the 7th is called the leading tone because it leads to the octave again. Also, in terms of nomenclature, the name of the note of the key that you're in is called the tonic. So if we're in the key of A, the tonic is going to be A. If we're in the key of G, the tonic is going to be G. So when I say resolve, it resolves to the tonic. Okay, so G sharp will turn into an A and resolve to the tonic. These are great questions, guys. I'm loving this. Let's try those once more. We'll try the 5th, so G1 and D1 together. And then we'll try the 3rd, which is G3 stretch and D1. The 3rd, then we do the 4th, which is going to be A and E1. No, sorry, that's the 6th. The 4th is D1 open A. And I use that all the time. Now, let's do the 6th, which is open A, E1. Okay. Nice one to do. And then we can do the major 7th. So play an open A and an E2. High position. When you can't stand it anymore, put the 3rd finger down. Okay, there we go. So we practice some nice double stops in the key of A. And you have a plan for what you can practice at home with it as well. Okay? Very good practice tonight, ladies. Now let's do, in our last 5 minutes, let's do a tune in the key of A. Let's do Mrs. McLeod's Reel. Okay? Mrs. McLeod's Reel. Yep. Geez, I'm listening to a podcast about the about Scotland and the Battle of Culloden and all that kind of stuff, and it's shocking. I didn't know that they all went to India after the Battle of Culloden. Half of them went to India because they were basically given the choice: we can either kill you or you can go and work for us in India. And so they went to India, and half of them took Indian wives, and they call them the White Moguls. There's one guy that's a McDougall. Oh, for God's sakes, there was McDougalls up the road from me. Can't imagine them eating butter chicken. Anyway. All right, Mr. McLeod's reel. Yum dee 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 dee. Okay, I'll count you off. One, two. Oh, 1, 2, 3, go. See? Now, did you notice that I basically played that whole tune on 2 strings? See that? And you can. This whole tune you can play on the A and the E string, even the second part. See that? You can play the whole thing on 2 strings, and it's such good practice for when you're doing those double stops. It's fun to try once in a while. And you know, Keith was wondering, why is there harmony? Why do people do double stops? And really, it's to kind of enrich the texture of what you're doing. So it comes from a single note to 2 notes at a time. It makes it stronger and makes it kind of bigger. See what I mean? Especially if you make cool choices with the double stops. Now, we didn't get to D this time, so we will get to D next time. And so in the meantime, it might be good to practice the key of D and see if you can come up with some of your own double stops according to the patterns that we went over tonight. And we'll work on that next time. And I promise this week I will put up those little tunes. And I got reminded of one today that I will put up there. It's a Newfoundland one. We'll rant and we'll roar like good Newfoundlanders. Actually, I'll play it right now. Watch my fingers. See that? Easy and fun. And I bet you know the words, which is always really helps. Okay? Great class tonight, everybody. Keep up the good work. We'll see you next Monday or Thursday.